In Gujarat now, where two men were thrashed by a mob on the suspicion of being child lifters. The mob first brutally thrashed them and then handed them over to the cops. This comes after an audio clip went viral in Jamnagar and Dwarka districts of Gujarat. The clip claimed that the gang of around 300 people have landed in Gujarat and it's involved in abduction of children aged 5 to 6.
जामनगर और द्वारका जिले में व्हाट्सएप पे एक ऑडियो क्लिप वायरल हो रही है जिसमें ऐसा बताया जा रहा है कि 300 लोगों की टुकड़ी इन दो जिलों के एरिया में घूम रही है और 5-6 साल के बालकों को अपहरण कर रही है। इसी के संदर्भ में हमारे ओखा पुलिस स्टेशन के एरिया में पब्लिक ने 2 लोगों को पकड़ा था और हमारे पास दिया है, जिनके ऊपर ऐसा बालकों को ले जाने का शक आ रहा है, तो इसके बारे में तहकीकात शुरू है।
My colleague Disha is now joining us on the phone line. Disha, what action has been taken against the perpetrators of this crime?
So as of now, according to the police officials concerned, the investigation is still underway. They're trying to find out exactly from circulated this video and who were these people who brutally thrashed two beggars only on a mere suspicion that they were child abductors and they were the ones who were abducting children between 5 to 6 years of age. So this is something that even the police officials have really cleared the air and the rumors out there saying that there is no gang involved in this entire incident. So please do not believe in rumors is this word spreading by the police officials over there, and currently the investigation is still underway. There is no detention as of now, but of course police, when we spoke to, they said that they are going to find out who exactly those people were. And as far as the video is concerned, because that was a video that went viral on social media, so based on that video, what was the source? So all of these investigations they are trying to find out.
Right, and Disha, this unfortunately is another case where it's been driven by a rumor. Can you explain to our viewers exactly what this rumor was that was put out to the people in these two districts? Disha? I seem to have lost the line there with Disha, but these pictures now from Gujarat. This is the Dwarka district of Gujarat, where these two men were alleged to be child abductors, and for that they were brutally thrashed by a mob. It's yet another case, and it just illustrates how these sorts of unsubstantiated rumors spreading over WhatsApp can have some very, very dangerous consequences. In this case, the two men were left badly injured, but in other cases, as we've seen across this country, it's cost people their lives. And that, unfortunately, is the reality that we're living with, and it certainly needs far more than just action after the fact. Let's go across now to Kavita Srivastav. She's an activist who joins us on the phone line. Kavita Srivastav, don't you think that we need to be a little more proactive about these things? Because it's one thing to, for the police to investigate after the fact, but how do we put an end to these sorts of unsubstantiated rumors flying thick and fast?
Increasingly, we have become Lynchistan. India should now be called not Hindustan, but Lynchistan, because, under some pretext or the other, mobs can just go and attack and trash, and they know it, they can get away. They know it, that the police is with them in this murder, as we've seen it in the name of the cow where Muslims are being killed, or as we've seen it, what happened to 2 musicians from Goa, Das and the other, who were killed in Assam, or how we know it, that the way they killed Junaid in the train, or the way Pehlu Khan was killed. So you feel hate in the name of being Muslim, you feel hate and give complete sanction to anybody who's indulging in mob violence. So I'm sorry to say it's a breakdown of law and order. And if you're a Dalit also, you are vulnerable to this kind of crime. So I think what needs to be asked first, these boys who were beaten up, who were lynched in Gujarat, and known to be child lifters or whatever, under the suspicion of child lifters, what is their profile? What is the caste and religious profile? It's important to know, because these are targeted attacks on people. It is not as simple as that. I myself in Rajasthan have looked at WhatsApp messages which is provoking the ordinary community that these people will come and cut your hair. Last year, it was flooded. WhatsApp was flooded. That people come and cut your hair and they are Muslims. So they were being provoked. So obviously somewhere, some mob will start killing Muslims if they've come to cut the hair. So I'm sorry to say it's a complete breakdown of law and order, and Narendra Modi government has not addressed this pan-Indian phenomena of breakdown of the law and order system because they want it to be broken down. They want mobs to take over. They don't want the real issues to be addressed. So I'm sorry to say we are utterly disgusted. I mean, cry that beloved country. That's all I can say. While Nero is on his fiddle, that's all I can say.
But Kavita Srivastava, we also need to figure out how to, hold these people who spread these unsubstantiated rumors responsible, because it's one message being forwarded across to many people, perhaps sometimes to different parts of the country, sometimes months after the fact when those incidents took place, which is actually fueling this sort of hatred, this sort of suspicion of people who don't look like you, who don't sound like you, who don't dress like you.
See, what I'm trying to tell you, it's pretty targeted and pretty planned. It's not just, what the police, the government of India, the various state governments want us to believe, whether it be Yogi Adityanath government when we look at the Hapur incident, or whether it was a Clark earlier, or whether it is the present Gujarat thing. They want us to believe that the mob did it out of outrage. That was people's outrage. They want us to believe. Let me tell you, I've examined some of these things. It's pretty planned. When people are sitting and making videos, the act of making a video is not a frenzied act. You are at a distance. You have a bit of objectivity because you're focusing your camera. The same person could make a call and call the police. Look at what they did in Jharkhand. Similar mobs that killed so many Muslims. And over the last 4 days, 18 to 20th, we had 4 lynchings. And now you're talking of 2 more in Gujarat and Chhattisgarh. So what I'm trying to say, it is pretty well planned. It's not mere outrage. Number one, they know they can get away with the police and the law. They know the police is with them. How has this message got across? If it is not the police and the government that has communicated it, then who has communicated it? They have. The police has. The police is sponsoring it. The police is protecting it. The police is actually advocating it with the clear-cut support on accountability of the government of the day. So, number one, if the moment there is strictness of the rule of law, this thing will go. Secondly, if immediately, like in Jharkhand, we are glad that people were sentenced.
Right.
There was conviction. That not only has to be quick conviction, but there has to be a kind of firmness. There has to be a kind of show that this is not allowed.
Yeah, we need to send a strong message.
Which is all kind of, the rule of law is what we are trying about.
I agree.
Actually,
a strong message
police,
needs to be sent out, Kavita Srivastava.
Yeah. I mean, the police is increasingly the terrorists. No. It's the police, and police is sponsoring it. What I'm trying to tell you, mob justice is always promoted by the government of that day.
Well, I have to say, Kavita Srivastava, I respect your point of view, but in this case, there's no proof of that. But I thank you for joining us and sharing with us your personal view on this story. Thank you for joining us. Let's turn our focus to Uttar Pradesh now, where days after a 45-year-old man was lynched in Uttar Pradesh's Hapur. Now, shocking pictures have emerged which show the police apathy. In the pictures, locals can be seen dragging the victim's body as police officers walk beside the locals. After the outrage over the photos, the Uttar Pradesh police issued a sham apology, and 3 officers have now been sent to the police lines.
This is absolutely horrific because it was after this picture went viral that the UP police actually took some action because first and foremost they did not register this case as that of a mob lynching. In fact, this person as well as one another person who actually survived his injuries were actually lynched on suspicion of cow slaughter. But the police registered the case as that of a minor altercation which was prompted perhaps by a minor accident between two motorbikes. So this is what the police registered, and therefore very little by way of action has actually taken place there on the ground. The police has registered a case against 25 people. An FIR has been registered, but just about 2 people have been picked up by the police for questioning perhaps these people who are involved into this case. Police, instead of coming forward to help the injured victim and to rush him to the hospital, they ask those people who were part of the mob to help them drag this particular person who's almost half dead. He's seriously injured, to carry him to the police van to be then taken to the hospital. This is absolutely horrific, unwarranted, and absolutely insensitive of the police. And what the UP police does is just to tweet a mere apology on this entire act, and the policemen, rather than being suspended and given some exemplary punishment, have just been posted to the police line. They've only been transferred and reprimanded for this hugely insensitive act that they've done.